Imagine knowing exactly what kind of day the entire human race is going to have on June 9th, 2026.
Yeah, it sounds like sci-fi, but that's exactly what we're looking at today.
Right. Because according to one highly specific, ancient yet future-looking text that we're diving into today, we actually do know, for those of you listening who might not be familiar with the term, today we are unpacking a Rashifal,
which is a Vedic astrological forecast.
Exactly. It's this tradition deeply rooted in mapping daily cosmic energies and translating them into highly specific behavioral advice. And we have our hands on a really comprehensive forecast for a single Tuesday, June 9th, 2026.
It is just a remarkable document to analyze. I mean, we're looking at a text that attempts to synthesize the chaotic, overlapping lives of billions of people into, a structured psychological and behavioral blueprint.
Right. And to be clear with you listening, our goal for this deep dive isn't just to read fortunes or tell you what color shirt to wear in a couple of years.
No, definitely not.
We want to decode the underlying themes, the advice, and the psychological mechanisms that this text is allegedly dictating for this specific date across all 12 zodiac signs.
And before we even get to the individual signs, the text lays out this special message for the day.
Oh yeah, the baseline vibe.
Right. It notes that for the vast majority of the signs, June 9, 2026 brings new possibilities, a surge in self-confidence, and tangible opportunities for progress.
But there is a really important condition attached to that promise, isn't there?
There is. The text explicitly states that success on this day will be achieved specifically through patience and positive thinking.
Which I think is so interesting.
It is, because it frames the day not as purely fatalistic. It is not saying that, good things will magically materialize while you just sit passively.
Right, you can't just wait for a check in the mail.
Exactly. Instead, it describes a partnership between cosmic opportunity and personal agency. The environment might be ripe with new possibilities, but you are required to bring the patience and the positive mindset to actually harvest them.
See, I have a hard time buying this at face value, though. I mean, if the universe is handing out opportunities, why the hyper-specific instructions on how to behave?
Well, it's about alignment.
Because the forecast goes beyond just a mindset. It gives us tangible physical rituals. It lays out a literal blueprint. Like for this Tuesday in 2026, the lucky colors are yellow and white.
Yellow and white, yeah.
The lucky numbers are 1, 5, and 9. And the favorable direction to orient yourself is east. So, I mean, is the text actually claiming magic here, or is this just ancient psychology?
That's the perfect question.
Because if wearing a white shirt and facing east is supposed to give me new possibilities, isn't that just, a placebo effect?
Well, the line between a placebo effect and cognitive behavioral framing is incredibly thin, and honestly, that is where the genius of this text lies.
Okay, how so?
Think about the psychology of intention setting. If the day's mandate is positive thinking, that can feel like a really abstract, exhausting task. I mean, how do you just force yourself to think positively for 16 hours straight?
You usually can't. It's like someone telling you to just relax. It usually causes you to tense up even more.
Exactly. But if you deliberately choose to wear a yellow or white shirt, or you consciously face east when you drink your morning coffee, you are engaging in a physical ritual.
A ritual that anchors you.
Yes, it anchors your abstract mindset to a tangible action. Yellow and white are traditionally associated with clarity, brightness, and purity. And east is the direction of the sunrise.
The literal birth of a new day.
Right. So every time you glance down at that yellow sleeve, it acts as a micro reminder of your intention for the day. These aren't just random aesthetic choices.
They are focal points.
Exactly. They're tools for mindfulness that help you maintain the behavioral regulation required to unlock the day's potential.
So it's essentially a psychological anchor. You build the environment to support the mindset. I can see the utility in that for sure.
It's incredibly practical when you look at it that way.
So let's look at how this mindset actually plays out, because the text divides the human experience of this day into some very distinct narratives.
It really does categorize the day.
Yeah, and we can structure our conversation around core human desires, maybe starting with the pursuit of wealth and career momentum.
The high flyers.
Exactly. Listen to this lineup of what we can call the high flyers. For Aries, hard work is going to pay off with support from officials, financial gains, and good health.
A very solid day for Aries.
Right. And then for Taurus, you have the full support of luck, and stalled tasks are finally going to be completed, bringing investment gains.
And the momentum continues for several other signs in this category, too.
It does. Cancer is looking at new opportunities for career advancement and business profits.
Huge for them.
Yeah, and Leo is staring down an increase in honor and prestige, strong finances, and the support of a life partner. Capricorn will see an increase in charm and influence, leading to a major career achievement.
Which is a very specific type of success.
Right. And then there's Pisces, which the text literally bills as a specially profitable day with broad progress in jobs, business, and financial improvement.
That's quite a list.
We have 6 signs here poised for incredible financial and career success on the exact same day.
It is tempting to look at that list and just see a blanket of wealth across the board. But the value of this text isn't in the what, it's in the how.
The mechanisms, right?
Yes. The mechanism of success varies wildly depending on the sign, which offers a really fascinating commentary on the different ways humans actually achieve progress.
Like the contrast between Aries and Taurus.
Exactly. Look at Aries.
Aries is told their hard work will pay off and they need the support of officials.
Right, so their success is highly transactional and hierarchical. It requires sweat equity and navigating existing power structures. Aries is chopping the wood and getting paid for the bundle.
But then look at Taurus.
Yeah, Taurus relies on the full support of luck to see stalled tasks finally completed. For Taurus, the advice is almost to let go of the active struggle.
Like, just let the universe handle it.
Pretty much. The cosmic timing is finally aligning to clear a backlog that effort alone couldn't fix.
So Aries is chopping the wood, but Taurus is just like finding a $20 bill in their old winter coat.
Or an old investment suddenly matures without them having to lift a finger.
Right. It's a completely different energetic posture. And then you have Capricorn. Why is Capricorn's path to a major career achievement different than Aries' sweat equity?
Because Capricorn's achievement is driven explicitly by increased charm and influence.
So it's not about the grunt work.
No, it's about soft skills, persuasion, and social capital. It implies a scenario where the technical work is already done, and the final hurdle to success is purely interpersonal.
It requires reading the room, making alliances, and leveraging charm.
Exactly.
I'm looking at Leo here, and the text mentions an increase in honor and prestige, classic Leo themes, but it explicitly ties this professional or public elevation to the support of a life partner.
That's a really crucial detail.
How does this document draw the line between marital harmony behind closed doors and professional prestige out in the world?
Well, it challenges the myth of the isolated executive. The text recognizes that public honor requires a stable foundation.
That makes sense.
When your domestic life is secure, when you have the emotional and logistical support of a life partner, you have the psychological bandwidth to take professional risks that lead to prestige.
So Leo's public success is a direct symptom of their private harmony.
Exactly.
And Pisces just seems to hit the jackpot. Especially profitable day with progress in both job and business. They are riding the absolute apex of the day's positive energy.
They really are. But you can't just apply the Aries strategy of grinding hard work if you're holding a Capricorn hand of cards that requires charm.
Right. You have to play the game the environment is demanding of you.
Which brings us to the inevitable friction. Because not everyone is playing an offensive game on June 9th.
No, they are not.
For the overarching theme of the day to be new possibilities, we have to acknowledge that unchecked acceleration can be dangerous.
Let's talk about that friction and the human need for safety and risk mitigation. For our second group of signs, the universe is essentially applying the brakes.
Starting with Gemini.
Yeah. The text explicitly warns Gemini against making any big decisions in haste today. They are told they must work with patience and understanding.
So for Gemini, progress on this day is defined entirely by what they don't do.
If you're listening to this and you've ever felt the overwhelming urge to rage quit a job, send a highly emotional, angry email, or make a massive impulse purchase, the advice for Gemini here is actually a masterclass in risk mitigation for anyone.
It really is. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do in a 24-hour period is simply not make a critical mistake.
Just sit on your hands.
Exactly. The patience the text demands from Gemini is a defensive strategy. A hasty decision on June 9th could undo months of previous work.
Moving to Libra, we see a different kind of friction.
Libra is fascinating.
Family responsibilities are going to increase. Now, they will find success in property matters, which sounds like a win, but the crucial piece of advice, the core directive for them, is to maintain mental peace.
This highlights the stress that often accompanies material success.
Oh, definitely.
Winning a property dispute, Buying a new house or managing assets often creates immense logistical and emotional strain, especially when family duties are increasing simultaneously.
The text is warning Libra that their material success will threaten their psychological equilibrium.
Yes, and speaking of material success creating problems, look at Sagittarius.
Right. They have really good chances for wealth and new income sources today. They could almost be in our high flyers group.
They could, but there is a stark, highly specific warning attached to their wealth.
They must control their speech and their words in order to maintain family peace.
It's a profound observation on human behavioral traps. Sudden wealth or a rush of new income frequently inflates the ego,
Oh, absolutely. It creates a false sense of invulnerability.
which often manifests as arrogance, condescension, or just careless words that damage our closest relationships.
Like, here's a bunch of money, now please keep your mouth shut.
It's incredibly practical advice. The text is giving Sagittarius the foresight to enjoy the financial gain without burning down their domestic life in the process.
It's a form of emotional regulation.
Precisely.
Finally, in this group navigating friction, we have Aquarius. Aquarius is told they must actively avoid unnecessary expenses and really take care of their health.
A complete shift in focus.
Yeah, instead of looking outward for career gains, their focus shifts entirely inward. They are directed towards spiritual pursuits and perhaps reconnecting with an old friend.
The text is essentially applying a financial tourniquet to Aquarius. In a modern culture obsessed with continuous upward material growth, the Aquarius forecast is a radical reset of values.
It's forcing them to stop bleeding resources, both financial and physical. Like, stop buying things on the internet, drink some water, meditate, and call someone who knew you before you were caught up in the rat race.
It highlights that a truly comprehensive view of life recognizes the necessity of fallow periods. You need these days of internal reflection, boundary setting, and emotional maintenance.
You cannot harvest the field every single day,
No, you can't. Aquarius is being given permission to rest and repair.
which flows perfectly into the final thematic block we found in this text, the deep human craving for connection.
Yes.
We've talked about the pursuit of wealth and the need for safety, but we still have two signs left that illuminate the underlying architecture of this entire forecast, the interpersonal web.
Let's look at Virgo and Scorpio. The focus on specific social relationships is a defining feature of this document, and these two signs really exemplify it.
For Virgo, the text highlights that this is a highly favorable day, specifically for students and those taking competitive exams.
Which is intense.
Very. And they're also going to see increased trust in their romantic relationships and might receive pleasant news from or about their children.
Consider the vulnerability inherent in taking a competitive exam. It is a highly stressful, isolating experience.
Oh, for sure.
The text counterbalances that intense academic or intellectual pressure with increased trust in romance and joy from children.
It provides emotional grounding to support intellectual vulnerability.
Exactly. And then there's Scorpio.
Right. Scorpio is going to experience a massive surge in courage and self-confidence today. New business plans are going to yield profits.
But uniquely, the text states they will receive specific support from their brothers and sisters, their siblings, alongside strong romantic relationships.
This is where we start to see the hidden matrix of the text.
What do you mean?
Well, I noticed a pattern looking back over the entire document. Throughout this whole forecast, even for the signs that are hyper-focused on money or career, there's a relentless emphasis on who is helping them.
That's a great point.
Like, Aries needs the officials,
Yeah.
Leo gets the spouse's support, Gemini needs friends to stop them from making a hasty decision. Scorpio relies on siblings for courage. Why is this forecast so hyper-focused on the social network rather than individual merit?
Because it completely rejects the Western, highly individualized narrative of the self-made person pulling themselves up by their bootstraps.
Yeah.
This is perhaps the most grounding philosophical takeaway from the entire text. In this framework, individual destiny is inextricably intertwined with community.
Success on June 9th is never a solo endeavor.
It's an ecosystem. The stars might align to give Scorpio courage, but that courage is actualized, tested, and supported by their siblings.
Right. The universe might want to give Leo prestige, but that prestige arrives facilitated by the harmony with their life partner.
Even Gemini, who is told to pump the brakes, is relying on the support of their friends to get through that frustrating holding pattern.
It creates a web of profound interdependence.
Your luck or your hard work might be the catalyst, but the people around you are the infrastructure that allows that catalyst to hold weight.
It really shifts how you read something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, you aren't just reading your own fortune to see what you get. You are finding out what role you have to play in everyone else's day.
That's a beautiful way to look at it.
If you are reading this, you might be the official whose support Aries desperately needs to succeed today. You might be the old friend that Aquarius is supposed to reconnect with to heal their spirit.
Or you might be the friend standing between Gemini and a terrible decision.
Exactly.
It demands that you be aware of the ecosystem of relationships around you, because that ecosystem is the very mechanism through which the day's new possibilities will actually be delivered into reality.
You are the protagonist of your own forecast, but you are the vital supporting character in someone else's.
That is a deeply empathetic way to view a random Tuesday.
We've covered a massive amount of ground today, unpacking the psychological depth of the singular date in 2026.
We really have.
To recap our journey for you listening, June 9th, 2026 is set to be a day defined by a partnership between cosmic opportunity and the personal agency of patience. We've seen the rituals of control in the colors yellow and white, and the grounding anchor of facing east.
And we explored the varied mechanisms of progress, from Aries' sweat equity to Capricorn's calculated charm.
Right. We looked at the vital necessity of friction, how Gemini's patience is a shield, and how Aquarius's inward focus acts as a financial and spiritual tourniquet.
And we traced the interdependent web that binds all of these experiences together, recognizing that individual achievement is built on a foundation of community support.
The text closes with a specific blessing, Jai Shri Hari. May your day be auspicious.
Yes.
For those unfamiliar, Jai Shri Hari is a common Hindu invocation praising Lord Vishnu, who in the traditional pantheon represents preservation, sustenance, and the maintaining of universal balance.
It's a highly appropriate bookend to a text that is so deeply concerned with maintaining equilibrium, balancing wealth with humility and ambition with mental peace.
It reinforces the overarching theme of the text, the preservation of harmony, even amidst a day of rapid progress and new possibilities.
The universe is offering the canvas, but we have to paint the picture with the right mindset.
Taking all of this into account, it raises a fascinating final question for you to consider as you go about your own day.
Imagine it is the morning of June 9, 2026. You wake up, you put on your white shirt, you face east with your coffee, and you read this exact forecast.
Okay, I'm there.
If you read that today requires you to maintain mental peace like Libra, or that you are on the verge of a major career achievement like Capricorn,
Right.
how much of that prediction comes true? Simply because the act of reading it fundamentally changed your posture.
A self-fulfilling psychological prophecy.
Does the forecast accurately predict the day you are always destined to have? Or does the forecast actually create the day by giving you the cognitive tools, the boundaries, and the confidence to build it yourself?